side, would you mind?
All right, good afternoon. On behalf of the City of Petersburg, City Council, administration, and staff, our businesses, and great residents, welcome to Petersburg. It is a beautiful day to be in Petersburg, and what is even more wonderful is the economic development announcement we will hear in a few minutes from our great governor. I would like to recognize the presence of the Commonwealth of Virginia's Governor, Terry McAuliffe, Secretary of Agriculture and Forestry, Tard Haymore, and our great Senator Rosalind Dance. Let's give them a round of applause. I would also like to recognize the interim president, Dr. Hammond from Virginia State University. Petersburg Public School Superintendent, Dr. Melvin. Thank you for being here today. Just earlier this week, both the governor and I were at A.P. Hill Elementary School celebrating Dr. Seuss and Reading Across America Day. Today, we are making an announcement about the continued growth in Petersburg. This, my friends, is called progress in Petersburg. It's poised for more economic development, vitality, and making sure our children are a part of this success. I am Petersburg. You are Petersburg. We are Petersburg. Today's announcement fits perfectly with the city's vision of rebranding Petersburg and making this great city a top destination to live, work, and play. It syncs with our goal of expanding the tax base, creating economic opportunity, and bringing jobs to the area. We all know that when the governor is in town, there is going to be good news. Today's announcement is even more great news for Petersburg and the region as a whole. The City of Petersburg thanks the governor and our local business owners, Dave McCormick and Tony K. Voznicka, right, for your investment and commitment to the city. We look forward to many more announcements like the one today. Let's continue to go forward together, keep our beautiful city vital and strong. Thank you very much, and please welcome Senator Rosalind Dance.
To our awesome Governor McAuliffe, to Secretary Haymore, Mayor Myers, Vice Mayor Parham, other councilmen and women, that's because they do have a lady, you have to remember that. The distinguished guests that have already been introduced. I don't think we got Chief Dixon back there, though, in the introductions. Let's make sure we cover him. And the sheriff to my right, your left, let's make sure we cover her. And everyone in here is very important. So know that when I say ladies and gentlemen, I mean all of the very important people. If you're not very important, please raise your hand and I will introduce you. But really, good morning, and it's good afternoon now, and it's a wonderful time for me because after 2 hard months of Richmond during this year's General Assembly whirlwind session, it is great to be back home in Petersburg. Dave McCormick and Tony Kavasnika. As state senator for this area, I am pleased to welcome Big Trouble. Can I say that? Am I in trouble? Because I say Big Trouble? The governor's looking at me. But like you. Big trouble like you. That's all. Leave it at that? Okay. To Petersburg. And to let you know how much we appreciate your investment and what the governor is going to tell us about you when he makes his announcement. But I'm pleased with the commitment that is happening here for our farm families, because we're in Petersburg, but I tell you that we are a region that's made up for the 16th senatorial district is 3 counties and 3 cities. And we work together already. We got farming bonds in our schools because we know that it's important for our students to know they even actually go to Dinwiddie County, 2nd graders. All of them get to go to the country to see what it's like, even though they're in the city, and we are very much connected. And I now, as a member of the Senate's Senate's Agriculture and Natural Resources Committee, know the importance of agriculture and forestry to Virginia and to us. It's very important, and I learn more every day. But Virginia was founded and sustained by its farming abilities, and a project like the governor is going to tell us about is a win-win for the farming community. And the continued efforts of our governor to expand the diversification of Virginia's economic viability is second to none. He will tell you, he's the number one person. He does not believe in following others, he believes in leading the way. And I want to say, congratulations, Mayor Myers, City Councilmen and women, City Manager Johnson, the Economic Development Team for your 48 hours of making sure that you worked with the business, with the governor and his team to make sure that we were here today for this awesome announcement that our governor is going to make. But Governor, can I say, I thank you for keeping Secretary Haymore. He was here, and he could have been gone, but you're a wise governor, and you decided that if it's not broken, let's keep it and make it even better. And when you talk today, you're going to tell them about what has happened to get us to this point. But I can say this, Governor, one thing is certain, that this man in 2012 convinced us as a General Assembly, you know, and we're hard, you know that you're working with us now, we're really hard to understand new concepts about doing things a little bit different. But some way, Secretary Haymore was able to convince us that it was worth setting aside money just for agriculture and forestry. Unheard of, you know, with us tight folks, but we did it, and we should have known if there was anything in the toolbox, Governor, you would find it, you would use it, and I say something about you. Governor, you never cease to amaze us on how hard you will work for us, and that as usual, the amazing McAuliffe, you know, you should name the amazing McAuliffe has pulled another successful economic venture out of his bottomless economic magic bag, because he has one. He has one. And on behalf of this region, I must say, you are creating another record of becoming the governor, T-H-E, capitalize all those letters, the governor, who has already spent a considerable amount of time in this little burg known as Petersburg. And every time you come, it's been with good news. And Governor, I can rest assured that you just had a year, right? And we got 3 to go. That this will be another one of your historical spots that you can touch, this little burg, because I assure you that you're going to have been the governor that has spent the most time in our area and that has done the most to ensure that Petersburg is a city on the map that everyone can point to around these United States about how this governor believed in the educational system, how this governor believed in the economic development, and how the two of those will help make this city viable. And before he leaves, he will have that #1 spot as well. Is that right, Governor? Because I know that you go for #1. And so we're going to have Dave McCormick and Tony Kavasnika come forward and speak briefly.
Hard to follow you, though. Well, thank you so much for coming. This is a huge turnout. I had no idea. I was in Miami this morning at 3 o'clock. So I popped up here for this. It's so exciting to have this happening. And, you know, when I look around in this particular neighborhood, it wasn't that long ago, there was nothing going on. You know, this is just, there was barbed wire and broken down buildings. Demolition Coffee was in ruins. If you remember that building, it's hard to remember. We just had our 5-year anniversary, so things are going so well. In the last about 8 years, we've brought about, and through next year, we're working on Trapezium Brewery, this project, and a couple other things. We'll have brought about $60 million of investment to Petersburg by the end of 2016. Really, I remember the days back when I first bought a property down here. People thought it was silly, you know, and now it's become a very big deal. Banks are very interested in this town. It's much easier to get a loan than it once was. It's like pulling teeth, you know, not but 5-6 years ago. So, about this project specifically, I'm really excited to be partnering with Tony on it. Tony's a really talented farmer. He brought this idea to me, and I do a lot of development adaptive reuse and know how to, bring banks and loans to things and equity. Tony is a very talented farmer, and I think when we think about the craft brewing industry and all the explosive expansion that's happened around that, we really realize there's still a lot of holes in the market. And malting is a huge one. There's almost an insatiable demand for malted barley right now. Sounds very simple, but there's very few companies in the country that are actually doing this. We feel like Petersburg is uniquely situated to do this business because the local farms are here. Also, the intellectual capital that's right there at VSU. We've been very rapidly talking to VSU about this particular project and have gotten great feedback, and it's something we're really looking forward to working with VSU in the coming year. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming. Governor McAuliffe, we really appreciate you being here. And Senator Dance, thank you so much. And Secretary Haymore, thank you so much for being here. All the members of City Council, we always appreciate your support and help. And I especially want to thank Stephen Verson for putting this all together. He's been a huge help. So thank you very much, everybody.
I just want to say that I'm really excited to be a part of this team that Dave has brought together to ensure that small farms like myself have an opportunity to weather the ups and downs of the commercial markets. And it's just really exciting to be here and watch this thing grow so close to home where we had not any opportunities. So just want to thank everybody involved.
Tony, Dave, thank you. Mr. Mayor, all the members of City Council and leadership in Petersburg, thanks for having us down here today. I'm Todd Haymore, Secretary of Agriculture and Forestry. Tony, to you and Dave, your entrepreneurialism, your spirit to put this together, working with Petersburg, working with the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, a great, great hearty thank you. You all are growing an important narrative in the Commonwealth of Virginia right now. We are being viewed really as the East Coast destination for craft beverages. We have over 260 wineries and cideries now. We have over 100 craft breweries. We have more than 20 craft distilleries. We have more than 10 cideries. So we are growing by leaps and bounds. It's attracting more and more attention, as I know the governor will mention in his remarks. But thank you. This is building on a very, very important narrative that's creating jobs, more investment, but also providing opportunities for growers like Tony and so many others in the surrounding area. So we know it's going to be a great, great project, and we're so fortunate to be partnering with you. And while I'm at it, Stephen's already been recognized, but I'm going to recognize him again as part of the leanest, meanest, toughest working team in state government. Stephen Verson from the Department of Agriculture, Robbins Buck from the Department of Agriculture, and Megan Hobbs. Megan's outside. Megan Hobbs works for me in the Secretary's office. The governor knows this better than anyone. Nothing happens without Megan blessing it. So Megan, thank you for working so hard to make this come together with Petersburg and everyone else today. Before I introduce someone who needs no introduction, in fact, I think I'm going to bottle Senator Dance's recognition of him and use it all around the state. Let me also, because the school has been mentioned several times, College of Agriculture at Virginia State University, Jewel Harrison, the dean of that college, is here today. Jewel, thank you. Thank you so much for everything that you do, because today, days like today, when we're talking about utilizing agricultural products to have for value added, would not happen were it not for the great, great work that you, your colleagues here doing, and folks at Virginia Tech as well. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. This man has already been sort of introduced already, but I can tell you, there is not a day, there's not an hour, sometimes there's not a minute that doesn't go by that he is not talking about economic development and jobs creation. I've had the honor for working directly with 3 governors. In my time in the private sector, I've worked with another 4 governors. I have never met anyone like him more dedicated to job creation, economic development, big, small, everything in between. This man is absolutely dedicated to it. He has made the growth of the craft beverage industry in Virginia a key component of the overall economic development strategic plan to create a new Virginia economy. So, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the 72nd Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. Please be seated. It is great to be back in Petersburg. Thank you. Let's hear for the greatest Secretary of Ag to ever walk the hall. I'm so fortunate to have him. And the greatest state senator to ever serve in the history of the General Assembly. How do you like that, Ed? I hope you taped it. You give me good introductions, I will give them back. Mayor, it is great to be back with you. We did have a great day the other day at AP Hill. I was just here 2 days ago, and to sit with all of these children at kindergarten, first grade, and to read them books, the excitement, the enthusiasm on these children's faces, and we had the school board members there and the superintendent and the chief. I mean, it was so exciting. These kids deserve a future. And that's why I've said I'm not going to tolerate people anymore talking down our schools. I'm sick and tired of the talk. It's time for us to take action, and we're going to make sure every school in Petersburg is accredited, and we got the best teachers, and we're keeping the best teachers, and do what we need to do. So it's great to be back here today. Jewel, it was great to be with you the other day. On Sunday night, we unveiled a new documentary that she was a movie star, my wife was a movie star, a documentary on food deserts, which is a really sad thing, and that's why what we're doing today is important. You know, almost 20% of Virginia areas are food deserts, which means there's no grocery store anywhere close, and it's really sad, and we got to fix that. And it was a great, I do want to thank VSU and their Department of Agriculture. I would be remiss if I did not mention with the president here, let's give a great round of applause. As you know, the VSU women's basketball team just won the CIAA championship. So congratulations to everybody. Let me say this, I am so excited to be back here. As everyone has mentioned, I am all about economic development. I focus on this every day. I really want to spend times in communities that really need that help. We have to do it. We face sequestration, defense cuts. We've seen many millions of dollars being cut and billions potentially being cut on October 1st from sequestration. So the whole deal is how do you replace those jobs and build a new Virginia economy? And that's what today is all about. It's great to be back in Petersburg again. The senator and I, this is our third visit this week. We were in Hopewell the other day for a $76 million announcement on the wastewater treatment facility that we did, growing these communities. I know so much about Petersburg. You know, tourism, film industry are a big part of what I'm trying to do. I just had Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan up to the mansion to talk about what we needed to do. And I got to tell you, to have Meg Ryan go on and on about Petersburg and what a great place it is to film. I mean, I wish I'd bottled that all up. It really was spectacular. So, listen, I am Petersburg, and I am all fired up, and we're going to continue to do it. And part of that is ag and forestry, as the Secretary mentioned. We're a $70 billion industry here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. You know, the hundreds of thousands of folks that are employed, about 415,000 directly ag and forestry here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. That's why I'm here today. We've had a spectacular run my first year as governor. We just announced that we went over for the first time in the history of Virginia over $3 billion of exports, that we're taking our great agriculture products and shipping them. The Secretary and I have traveled the globe together. We went to China twice last year. He and I worked hard to get the poultry ban lifted in China, which had been around for 7 years. This is worth millions and millions to our folks here in Virginia. And so we went over to China to celebrate, and I had all the cameras on me, and they brought out a big old bowl of chicken paws. And they said, Governor, to celebrate this big announcement, we want you to eat them. So, boy, I tell you, with all these cameras rolling, I picked up those little chicken paws, and I ate them. I ate a bowl of fried cicadas. As I like to say, I will eat or drink anything to close a deal. However, I did tell Senator Dance the other day, at the wastewater treatment facility, I wasn't drinking that. I will only go so far to close the deal, but that's about as close as I came to not drinking something. But it is really such a great honor to be back with you. This deal we're announcing here today is so important because when you think it brings about all the different elements that I talk about to grow and diversify our economy, promotion, bring the producers together, and the idea, entrepreneurship in a historic area, and what you have done, Dave and Tony, is really, truly extraordinary. $60 million of investment. Give them another great round of applause on that. I mean, we got to take you on the road to continue to do, but we've had a great first year. As you know, I've announced 305 economic development projects around the Commonwealth. Not that anybody's counting, but we've done about $5.6 billion in direct investment, which is double what any governor has done at this time in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. I am just warming up. We got a lot more deals to close. We got great teams working on all this, but a huge part of it are these APHID grants. And this is something that we really have to stress because it helps a lot of the communities, and it really affects those communities who really are in need. So that's why I wanted to come out here today for our APHID announcement. So I am here. I have a check for $50,000, which will be matched by the city of Petersburg to give it to Big Trouble. Yeah, I mean, I love the name. I mean, I like trouble. Yeah, you know, good trouble. I mean, everybody, you know, you got to be adventurous. You only live once, folks. So you know, it's all what you want to do with it. The Big Trouble Malting and Spirits and the expansion of this exciting new innovative business. I do want to thank Dave and Tony, who will also invest out of their own pocket $1 million. So give them a round of applause for that. So this brings in manufacturing, this brings in producing, entrepreneurship, and it's going to help tourism, which is great. So it's got all the elements of what we need to do. So this is an excellent example of what we need to do here. So in addition to producing its own malts and spirits, Big Trouble will sell malts, which is we all know, a much needed ingredient for Virginia's craft beer industry. Also, we are going to have an on-site remote ABC store offering tastings. Mayor, going to be all over that. And we will be selling. I hope you're going to be all over that. I mean, you think this is easy being governor? I mean, I had to install a kegerator in the governor's mansion to close the Stone beer deal. So when I invited the Stone guys to the mansion, sure enough, we got them a big old, it was their own IPA, which was great. They loved it. I know Thomas Jefferson's looking down at me, saying great. We had the oyster trail kickoff. We had wine and oysters at 9 in the morning. You think it's easy drinking at 9 in the morning? It's not. I do what I have to do, as I say, to get the jobs done. But honestly, the work that's being done here in taking this historic building, which has obviously been underutilized behind us, into malting production, storage, and tasting, is really spectacular, and it will be home to an authentic grain-to-bottle distillery in one of Virginia's historic cities. So I just want to thank you and thank everybody for the work that they have done. It's been a great day for me today. This morning I made another major announcement. I'm working the whole Commonwealth. We were very successful today. Bechtel, we were able to get 700 jobs from our neighbor in Maryland, who I announced today are leaving Maryland and coming to the Commonwealth of Virginia for their new expansion. I love our neighbors in Maryland. They're terrific, but you know, lower taxes, business-friendly environment here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. This is the action. Those other 49 states, I almost feel bad for those governors because they don't have what we have here, an example of what we're doing here today. No other governor's doing that today, Tony, I want you to know. No one, Tony and Dave? Where'd Dave go? Where's Tony? Where'd Tony go? Why do you keep hiding over there? You come sit in my chair, will you? Good. But this is a big deal for us, and this will, I think, as Todd will realize, this is going to help us do more. This is why we want to continue to do it. These APHID grants are so important. In my first 13 months of my term, we have done over 11 APHID grants and facility grants that have been awarded. We've created 427 new jobs and have brought an additional investment of $47 million in. So folks, this is a great day for Petersburg. I look forward to being with you, and I would ask if we could, and what's important about these APHID grants is that what we have to do is you need to purchase at least 73% of all additional agriculture and forest products have to be from Virginia, and you're going to do 100% here, I'm told. 100% are going to come from Virginia ag products. So We love Big Trouble, and which is going to amount to about 1.3 million in Virginia grain and fruit purchases over the course of the next 3 years. So, folks, this is exciting. Everybody benefits. So, what I'd like to do is if we could have Tony and Dave come up and have the mayor come up and Senator, whoever else, I've got a check and then another present for you. We got both here?
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, let's first do the check. Where's the mayor? Come on over here, Mayor. You get this one. Good. Come on in tight. Okay. Come on, we're getting all of it. All right, everybody, big smile. Now, hang on a sec. All right, Dave, you stay here. Tony, come over here. Okay, here we go, folks. On behalf of the Commonwealth of Virginia, I want you to know that this flag was flown over the Capitol. I got up about 5:30 this morning. I went over the Capitol, and I couldn't start to get up there. Well, that's not exactly true, but it did fly over the Capitol. So when we're all up and ready and running, and when we really cut the ribbon on the final work here at this great new facility, I would ask that this flag, which flew over our great Capitol, and remember our Capitol, folks, 1785, the cornerstone laid, Thomas Jefferson himself designed our Capitol. It's the first building in America that had columns. Now, you're not getting that in Maryland or up to your West Virginia, only here in the great Commonwealth of Virginia. And we'd ask that you guys proudly fly this flag over the new facility. So, thank you, guys. Great.
I think that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Great, thank you. I guess that's it, everybody. You don't have any initial promise. That's great.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Very nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Hi there. Are you, okay, you were late? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
When I see you guys get twitchy.
Half the battle was,